guys, Sam here, and welcome to another review. In this one, we're talking about fashion, a subject that I am not an expert in. Hey, you're listening to a guy who has a lot of shirts that are black, blue, green, gray, and gray, and gray, and more gray. So if you're looking for stylish clothing tips, you've got the wrong guy. However, I do understand why other people love fashion. They are physical statements that show people who they are or who they want to be. And regardless of what gender you are, everyone wants to look pretty damn stylish at least once in their lives, especially when you're a teenager trying to look cool. A lot of my classmates got really into fashion, and hey, sometimes robots want to look good too. And one of those robots took it to the extreme in the episode Victim of Fashion from the show My Life as a Teenage Robot. I've talked about this show before, but I wanted to look at an episode that many people of all age groups can relate to. Also, since it's September, that means that this episode, the first one of season 2, came out in the US about 20 years ago. 20. And cue everyone looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, "We're getting old. We're not young anymore. Where did my life go wrong?" Anyway, let's get started. Some of you know the drill, but if you're new to the channel, here's how the video will go. I'll give a quick summary of the episode first, give you my final thoughts after, and then give you some fun facts while sneaking in a few jokes here and there. Good. Let's begin. The episode begins with Jenny tossing a supervillain alien fish group called the Space Bikers into orbit. But because of the battle, she looks worse for wear and says that will never do at her school, Tremorton High. At the school, the Crust Cousins, Britt and Tiff, are the fashion queens, dazzling their classmates with their stylish attire. But then, their audience gets taken away when they are awestruck at Jenny's new coat of wax, making her body shine in the sunlight. The Crust Cousins get jealous, so they knock Jenny down a peg by saying that she just wears the same thing over and over every day, leading to her classmates mocking her and making her feel embarrassed. This makes Jenny determined to learn more about different fashion styles, so she can crush the Crust Cousins once and for all. The problem is that Jenny's body is built for combat transformations, not fashion makeovers. So Brad, Sheldon, and Tuck help her cram for fashion like studying for a test, learning about different fashion styles, trends, how to walk on heels, etc. The next day, the Crust Cousins come to school in disco-themed outfits, wowing their peers. But Jenny takes it up a notch, outclassing them with one hell of a look. To the Crusts, this means war. So Jenny and the Crust Cousins have a good old-fashioned fashion war. The cousins try Western-themed cowgirl outfits, insect costumes, swimsuits, and Victorian-era attire. But no matter what they try, they cannot compete with Jenny. She one-ups them again, and again, and again, and again. Now Jenny is more popular than ever, which makes the cousins furious and almost feel defeated. But that's when they realize something. Despite Jenny outdoing them, she has had to put on many pounds of her own machinery just to compete with them. That's when they come up with a devious plan. When next day arrives, they show up at school with very tight and thin leather suits on. Jenny tries to show that she can be just as thin as them. But she can't. If anything, her efforts make her bigger and heavier. This makes her lose her audience and feel embarrassed again. So she demands that her friends take out all of her weapons, just to make her as thin as the cousins. And when she says all of her weaponry, she means all of it. So when the Crust Cousins show up the next day in biker outfits, Jenny shows up as the Stick Lady. And yet, it gets her classmates to fawn over her again. Unfortunately, the moment is short-lived, as the Space Bikers return and start trashing an auto shop. Jenny tries to stop them, but she doesn't have her weapons anymore, so she either has to evade them or use other ways to beat them. Sadly, she can't do it forever. She gets her ass beaten. Sheldon gets dumped into an oil barrel, and Brad is left hanging by a hook. Now the Space Bikers are going to turn Jenny into scrap metal. But thankfully, Tuck comes in to save the day by using Jenny's weapons on the bikers, making them retreat. After it's all over, Jenny admits that she would have been done for just for the sake of a fashion popularity contest. Tuck echoes those thoughts, but when he starts getting praise from people about his robot suit, which uses Jenny's weapons, he soaks up all the attention. And the episode ends with Jenny getting pissed off and wanting to one-up Tuck, and the cycle starts all over again. The end. So that's the episode. What are my thoughts? Well, this is a good episode because, like I said before, many people can relate to this, especially teens like Jenny. The show addresses many problems that teenagers at Jenny's age deal with. Lack of self-confidence, being obsessed with your image, popularity contests, wanting to be hotter by making yourself skinnier, despite all the repercussions that could give you, all that stuff. The episode not only shows how dangerous that way of thinking can be, but also shows why teens would think this way. No one wants to feel like a loser. No one wants to feel like they can't be cool. The difference is what they want to be cool in. Sports, academics, online content creation, having the latest phones and computers, and yes, the best fashion sense. For people that are older and cynical, they could just scoff at this and say, who cares? Fashion doesn't matter. Being a good person and knowing what to do for your future is more important. And yes, it is. But not every teen grows up thinking that way. There are some that want to be seen as popular and cool. They think it will make them happy. It doesn't make them stupid for wanting to be that way. It does lead to them making stupid decisions and it gets them into trouble a lot, but you do understand where they're coming from. I felt that way sometimes about a lot of things. My face, my voice, my athletic skills, my acne, everything. Despite being a technological marvel, Jenny is still a teenage girl with her own wants, desires, and needs to look cool, get the hottest boy to like her, and so much more. Even if you never went through some of the same things Jenny went through, we as the audience can, at the very least, understand it. And the message of the episode is pretty clear. It is better to be functional rather than be fashionable. Sure, you could try to be the skinniest person or wear the tightest clothing, but that might lead to a lot of physical and mental problems for you. Episodes like this show me why people really liked this show growing up, and why they still have a fondness for it to this day. But it's not just the themes and the message that make it good, there's more. The jokes are solid, the slapstick is pretty good, the voice acting is entertaining, the action scenes with the space bikers were sweet, and the whole entire fashion war was pretty cool and funny to watch. It allowed the animators to get really creative and imaginative, and you feel that effort with every scene, every second, every frame. This is when the animation is at its best, showing exactly what animation can do. It can make some of your most wildest and imaginative ideas come to life. And yeah, every single one of Jenny's outfits were amazing. I think my personal favorite was the pink Birth of Venus look, and then seeing her outfit turn into fountains, water slides, and all that stuff. It was fun watching the Crust cousins get beaten repeatedly, and even when they did one-up her with the skinny outfits, Jenny somehow managed to best them again, which makes them even more pissed off, and I love it. Also, when the space bikers retreated in the end, they took the Crust cousins with them as props. I like how no one cared about that. Yeah, they might be prisoners of those fish creatures, but they're petty people. And they're awful, so it's all good. Please don't take that seriously, guys. Now, with all that said, there were a few problems I had with the episode. One, there were some scenes in this 22-minute episode that felt slow. One example is when Jenny's friends take every weapon out of her. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad scene. It has a few good gags, and I do like the music. But yeah, they could have cut the scene down. With that extra time, they could have put it into the fight scene with Tuck and the bikers. That's my second problem. It was a good fight scene, but I wish that it lasted a little longer. I wanted to see what else that suit could do. Problem number 3, the Crust cousins chose the wrong moment to try and upstage Jenny again. While Jenny is fighting the bikers, her classmates are watching it all, and the cousins get jealous again because she's grabbing their attention. So they purposely get through the crowd to grab the spotlight again, which makes them easy targets for the bikers. They actually turn them into their own little personal props. So yeah, if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have been abducted by the bikers. They had no one to blame but themselves. It is kind of funny, but it wasn't really necessary for the end of the episode. They could have just been still petty bitches, whatever. And the fourth and final problem I have is that it takes Jenny way too long to figure out that she doesn't have her weapons anymore. Seriously, it takes her 57 seconds to realize that, oh, when I told my friends to take all my weapons out, they really did take them all out. That realization could have been cut down too. You see what I mean? There are some moments where the episode drags. Not all the time, but I did feel it sometimes. Like when the Crust Cousins have their evil laugh, take a break to catch their breath, and then start laughing again. It's kind of funny, but that scene also drags on. How long? 36 seconds. Again, you could have used some of that time to make the action scenes longer and cooler, but in the end, that's just my opinion. Maybe some of you didn't mind that, and that's fine. Despite my issues with the slow pacing and a couple other things, I still enjoyed the episode from beginning to end. I wouldn't say it's the greatest episode in the show, but it is one of the most creative and relatable. So the final score I'll give to Victim of Fashion is an 8.5 out of 10. It's a good episode, and I recommend watching it. Alright, time for a few fun facts. Number 1, when Britt and Tiff were wearing the skin-tight suits, they did kind of resemble Wolverine and Batman a little bit, if they were from the Gay Pride Parade. Number 2, this line,
"Get away from her, you fish!"
is a reference to a line from a very popular movie. In fact, it's one of the most popular movies in Hollywood history. That's right, Barracuda. Yeah, the 1970s cult movie about chemically altered barracudas that kill people. It's a horror/thriller film. It wasn't a critical darling at the time, but that line from that movie is still quoted to this very day. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's from Aliens.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Yeah, pretty obvious, but come on, be honest with yourselves. You didn't even know that Barracuda movie existed before watching this video, did you? Number 3, Victim of Fashion was one of 2 episodes that were 22 minutes long in Season 2. The other episode is one I've already reviewed, A Robot for All Seasons. If you want to watch that, the link is in the description. Number 4, you remember this fish from the Space Bikers? That's Tammy, the one who would later try to get together with Brad later on in the show in the Season 3 episode Ball and Chain. And finally, number 5, Victim of Fashion was ranked number 40 in the top 100 greatest moments of Nicktoons history, making it the highest ranked episode that came from My Life as a Teenage Robot. In fact, the show had 2 other episodes make that list. Kilgore was ranked number 86, and Party Machine at number 50. Man, if she had pulled out that disco look from Victim of Fashion in the party episode, she would have been Miss Popular a lot sooner. Yeah, you know what? I actually don't mind disco, and I also like rock. They can coexist. Too bad these people didn't think that way during Disco Demolition Night.
Yeah! This garbage of demolishing a record has turned into a fiasco.
Back in my day, we were more civilized than you people with your TikToks and selfies. Yeah, right. Okay, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts on the episode and this video in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, my name is Sam, and good night, everybody.